The rains hammered against the glass walls of a mansion nestled deep in Banana Island, Lagos. From his penthouse office, Ayotunde Badejo stared blankly at the lagoon. Founder of Digisphere Solutions and tech icon across Africa, Ayo was a billionaire with every luxury money could offer. Yet, inside, a silence screamed. His wife, Tenny, lounged by the indoor pool, FaceTiming her stylist about a gala in 6. Their daughter, Zena, filmed a skincare reel under a ring light, complaining about low engagement. Only Tolu, his 16-year-old son, ever noticed the man behind the money, often sketching in silence near his father. Dinner was served on imported marble with gold-rimmed plates. Tenny talked about a new spa opening in Lekki. Zena whined about her influencer deals. Tolu asked one thing. "Dad, are you okay?" Ayo only nodded. That night, the emptiness bloomed. He rang Kunal, his longtime assistant, with just 3 words, "Shut it down." Kunal hesitated. "Sir." "Everything," Ayo said. "Company, accounts, access. I need to know who they are, without the money." Ayo stood alone by the window as the city blinked beneath him, alive and unaware. Tomorrow, the test would begin. By morning, news had already begun to spread. Anonymous sources claimed Digisphere Solutions had collapsed due to a government probe. Assets frozen. Operations suspended. Ayo stood calmly in the living room as chaos buzzed through Banana Island. Tenny burst in, silk robe flapping. "What is this madness, Ayo? I just saw a blog post saying we're broke." Zena stormed downstairs, phone in hand. "Are we trending? Tell me this is a PR stunt." Tolu sat on the staircase, quiet, watching. "We've lost everything," Ayo said simply. "The company's gone. We have to leave this house. Today." Tenny laughed, then screamed. "Impossible. This house is insured. Our accounts are backed offshore." "I closed them," Ayo said. "All of it. We're starting over." Zena's jaw dropped. "You expect me to live like a market girl in mainland?" "No," Ayo replied. "I do." Silence. Tolu finally spoke. "Are you serious, Dad?" Ayo nodded. By evening, Kunal arrived in a battered old Corolla, barely running. The mansion gates creaked open one last time. Tenny clutched her designer handbag like a life vest. Zena wore sunglasses and refused to speak. Tolu quietly helped Kunal load the bags. As the car pulled away from Banana Island's luxury, the high-rises faded into the rear view. Ahead lay red dust, peeling paint, and something far more dangerous than poverty, truth. The road to Maya, Ikorodu, was rough and red with dust. The battered Corolla coughed up the final hill before revealing a modest compound, cracked walls, rusted gates, and a sagging roof held up by stubborn wood. Ayo stepped out first. "This is it," he said. Tenny blinked. "This? Ayo, this is a poultry shed." Zena recoiled. "It smells like boiled yam and disappointment." Ayo ignored them and unlocked the termite-bitten door. Inside were 2 plastic chairs, an old mattress, and a single ceiling fan that hadn't spun in years. No Wi-Fi, no AC, no generator hum, just silence and the scent of earth. "I'm sleeping in the car," Tenny muttered, arms crossed. Zena kicked her designer shoes off and threw herself on the mat. "This isn't exile. This is punishment." Tolu dropped their bags, rolled up his sleeves, and began sweeping. That night, they huddled under a mosquito net that sagged like their pride. Crickets chirped. The kerosene lantern flickered. Ayo sat on the porch, staring at the stars. Tolu joined him. "It's hard now," the boy said, "but maybe this will change things." Ayo nodded, eyes heavy with hope and dread. "I just want to see what's real." From inside, Tenny's voice rose, complaining about the cold borehole water. Zena moaned about her phone battery dying. Only Tolu stayed quiet, his loyalty a small fire against the encroaching dark. The next morning, Ayo slung a hoe over his shoulder and stepped into the overgrown backyard. "If we want to eat, we farm," he said. Tenny scoffed from the doorway. "Ayo, I had a maid just for my orchids. I don't dig dirt." Zena emerged in a tank top, wrapped in a scarf, still trying to catch a signal. There's no TikTok here. We're trapped in prehistoric Nigeria. While Ayo's palms blistered, Tolu joined him with quiet hands and careful steps. I watched a local farmer once during holiday, he said, adjusting his father's grip on the hoe. Meanwhile, across the street at the local booker, Tenny spotted a man with a cane, thick agbada, and gold tooth, Olhaji Razak Aravi. He laughed heartily, surrounded by yes-men and gossiping traders. Who's that? Tenny whispered to a neighbor. That's Alhaji Raji. Owns half of Maya. Is looking for a new wife. Tenny's eyes narrowed. Later that day, she wore her best ankara, lips glossed, basket in hand. She strolled past the square and caught the Alhaji's eye. You're not from here, he said, grinning. A woman like you doesn't belong in dust. She fluttered her lashes. My husband lost everything. Life's been rough. He clucked his tongue and snapped for a cold malt. A fine woman should not suffer. Come sit. Meanwhile, Zena found herself at Wales' electronics store. Married. Charming. Always with a cold drink in hand. City girls don't belong in gutters, he said. She smiled. She missed soft drinks and being seen. Back at the house, Tolu carved a stool by hand. Ayo watched his son, wondering if the boy's quiet strength might outlast the noise they'd left behind. Maya buzzed with whispers. Tenny had been seen slipping into Raji's lodge, wrapped in lace and perfume. Zena was spotted riding on Whale's bike, laughing like a Lagos debutante. One morning, Tolu watched his mother reapply lipstick with trembling fingers. Where are you going? He asked softly. To see the pastor's wife. He blinked. But you haven't been to church in years. Tenny didn't answer. At the booker, murmurs turned to open mockery. That city woman thinks she's a queen. One woman hissed. All that makeup won't hide shame. Even Raji's second wife, Mama Teo, raised her voice in the market. She wants my husband. She'll see fire. At home, Ayo struggled with wet firewood, hands rough from digging. Tolu helped arrange the logs. She'll come around, the boy said. Ayo shook his head. She came around money. That's all. Zena grew restless too. Her city glow dimmed. The data gift from Whale came with strings. Her guilt whispered louder each day, but guilt didn't charge phones or bring cold drinks. One night, as the family sat around a flickering lantern, Tenny scrolled through photos. Zena chewed gum loudly, legs crossed. Tolu sketched in silence beside Ayo. I feel invisible, Ayo whispered. You're not, Tolu replied. But the truth loomed like the cracked ceiling above them. Love born in luxury had no roots in hardship. The test wasn't revealing resilience. It was revealing rot. It happened on a Thursday. Mama Teo stormed into their compound, wrapper tied tight, voice louder than a market bell. Where's that Ashawo from Banana Island? Zena stepped out slowly, adjusting her earrings. Mind your tone. This isn't a motor park. You're wrecking homes for meat pie and phone credit. Mama Teo shouted. Second wife at your age. Zena laughed. Your husband chased me. Control him. The argument cracked the air like thunder. Neighbors gathered. Phones came out. The shame was live-streamed in real time. Inside, Ayo heard every word. He stepped out, face carved in quiet sorrow. Zena, he asked, is it true? She crossed her arms. So what if it is? I raised you to know better. She snapped. You raised us to love money. And now you're shocked we're surviving. She stormed off. Ayo stood frozen, shame stinging deeper than poverty ever did. The next day, Tenny stumbled back from Raji's lodge. Her wrapper hung loosely, face smeared with sweat and humiliation. The chief had been arrested. Land fraud, fake gold, EFCC. They took him, the receptionist had whispered. His chains were fake. So was the palace. At home, Ayo met her at the door. Grace is gone, he said. What are you now, Tenny? She hissed. You made me this. Poverty made me this. No, you chose this. Just like Zena chose hers. She spat on the ground. You're a failure, Ayo. And you'll die in this failure. By morning, Ayo and Tolu packed their bags. I got a job as a gatekeeper, Ayo said. We're leaving. Tenny laughed bitterly. Madam Gate. Count me out. I didn't ask you to come." With that, father and son disappeared into the Lagos dawn, leaving behind two women choking on pride and smoke. The city greeted them with horns, heat, and high-rises. Ayo and Tolu walked in silence until they stopped in front of a marble-gated mansion in Asokoro. Tolu blinked. "Whose house is this?" Ayo pressed a remote. The gates glided open. "Ours." They stepped through. A gardener waved. The pool shimmered in the morning light. 3 luxury cars rested in the driveway. Colonel, the ever-loyal assistant, bowed. "Welcome home, sir. Everything's been maintained." Tolu looked around, stunned. "But you said we were broke." Ayo exhaled. "We were never broke, son. I needed to know who loved the man, not the money." Tolu's eyes welled up. "You tested all of us." "No," Ayo said gently. "I tested myself too. I had to know if I'd raised anything real." That night, they ate jollof under soft lights. No gold-rimmed plates. Just peace. Ayo watched Tolu, now taller, stronger, wiser. The next morning, they began again. Tolu helped file papers for a new foundation, Home Before Wealth, aimed at helping broken families and rural students find purpose. The media wanted interviews. Ayo declined them all. He preferred the balcony, palm wine in hand, beside the only one who never left. Meanwhile, in Maya, Zena deleted her socials. Tenny avoided the market. Both sat under the mango tree, invitations in their laps, handwritten, simple. "I built a new home," it read. "You're welcome, but not as wife or daughter, only as guests, if you've learned what truly matters." They didn't reply, but every day, they stayed down the road, just in case. News of Ayo Badejo's return hit Maya like a thunderclap. A trader from the city claimed he saw Ayo step out of a black SUV in Asokoro, dressed in fine kaftan, beside his son. "Don't be fooled," scoffed Grace, the lodge cleaner. "He's just a gatekeeper. I saw him leave." But Uncle Sei, the town's nosiest barber, shook his head. Gate or not, he walked in like a lion. That house was his. Tenny finally saw the photo online. Ayo and Tolu in front of the mansion. No edits. No filters. Just truth. Zena gasped. "That's not photoshopped. I know that Gate." Tenny clutched the invitation again. "We mocked him," she whispered. "Laughed at his struggle, and he was the king all along." They could have left that day. They didn't. "I'm not crawling back," Tenny said, but her voice trembled. Zena agreed, but her silence said otherwise. Back in Asokoro, Ayo watched the sun dip beyond the city skyline. "Do you miss them?" Tolu asked. "I miss who I thought they were," Ayo replied. "Do you think they'll ever come back?" "If they do," he said, "we'll welcome them, but only if they leave pride at the gate." Below them, Lagos buzzed with ambition and deceit. But on that balcony, beneath the soft hum of crickets and clinking glasses, a new dynasty was rising, built not on gold or gossip, but on grace, purpose, and the boy who stayed. True crowns, Ayo had learned, aren't worn on the head. They are earned in the heart.